here's kind of like a kitchen sink of some hacks and things that I wanted to mention. So, first of all, there's a lot of people having milk alternatives these days. And I'm one of those people. Sorry, I just hit the mic. I don't drink dairy. Um, Sometimes I would, but mostly I don't. And so, one of the things that I've discovered through hacking my own blood sugar is that oat milk, oof, it's delicious. It makes amazing lattes. It froths beautifully, but it is not so great for our blood sugar. When we think about it, it's a starch, or it's a carbohydrate. But what we don't, and we might look at the package and see, oh, it's very low in sugar, which it is. But what happens is that there's an enzyme created or added in the manufacturing process of many oat milks. And that enzyme, unfortunately, serves to break down the starches. Um, it breaks down the starches in the oat milk. And when we have that almost like pre-digestion happening, then essentially what that's doing is spiking our blood sugar as soon as we have it. Oh, yeah, I know. I'm reading comments right now, and a lot of people are noticing that it is really affecting their blood sugar. So oat milks, as delicious as they are, I would say swap it out, or just rotate it, based and choose something that's a little bit more fatty. I like macadamia, I like cashew, I like even almond, but just rotate your nut milks. And oat milk is lovely for a treat, and just make sure maybe even have something fatty, or stick some collagen in it, in your latte, just to kind of give yourself some protein and slow down the absorption of that sugar. Now, I mentioned it, if you're in the store and you're looking at boxed goods, if you notice sugar in the first three ingredients, put it down. Put it down, because it's going to spike your blood sugar for sure. Now, sugar is named so many different things. It can be sucralose, it can be, why am I drawing a blank? Cane sugar, coconut sugar, even honey, agave nectar, high fructose corn syrup. Um, so just watch out for those things. When things appear at the very beginning of a nutritional label, it means that that is something in the highest concentration. So if it's in the first three ingredients, I would say leave it behind, unless you want to treat it like a treat. For dry packaged goods as well, it's going to be really important to look for at least 1 gram of dietary fiber for every 5 grams of carbs. So take out your calculator and do some math. I'm totally that weirdo in the grocery store that's like sitting there with her calculator looking at the box of crackers. You can join my club. No one's going to make fun of you. At least I don't think anyone would. No one has made fun of me to my face. So the other nice thing that I would like you to consider is this trick of cooking and then cooling your starches. So let's just say you boil some potatoes, and the good thing to do to reduce the spike would be to stick them in the fridge for a little bit. Let them harden up, let them cool off, because what that does, even if you were to reheat them again, is it creates something called resistant starch, which functions pretty much like fiber. And it slows down, the absorption of sugar, and leads to smaller glucose spike when you eat that starch. So that's a hot tip. And then the last thing that I want to mention is that you should drink just a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar or some sort of vinegar in a tall glass of water before eating. If you have the luxury, the time, if you remember, especially if you're going to have a more starchy meal, we can cut our spike by almost 20% if we do just that. So I have not been beyond, most recently I was in an Italian restaurant and I asked them for vinegar and they gave it to me. And I just dumped it in my water and I drank it. So that is something that you can do. I mean, even if it's not apple cider vinegar, you can use another type of vinegar. But apple cider vinegar seems to be, it's the most well-researched. And it does that. If you want to get into the science of it, the reason why it works is because it actually inhibits an enzyme that breaks down the starches or breaks down the sugars. So it actually just doesn't pre-digest anything for you when we're inhibiting that enzyme, when we're stopping or making that enzyme less active.